The world doesn't end with a bang. Sometimes, it ends with a whisper. A notification. A single photo that steals the air from your lungs. It was a picture of him, with her. His arm was around her waist, the same way he held me just that morning. They were smiling, a private, shared smile that I suddenly realized I hadn't seen on his face in months. Not when he was looking at me, anyway. My heart didn't shatter. It just stopped. The silence in our apartment, the one I'd always found so comforting, suddenly became a crushing weight. I could hear the clock ticking on the wall, each second a hammer blow against the life I thought we were building. I scrolled through, my thumb moving with a mechanical detachment. More photos. A weekend trip I didn't know about. A birthday dinner I wasn't invited to. Each image was a new layer of betrayal, burying me alive. I saw his comments, little hearts and inside jokes. My everything, he'd written under a picture of her. I looked at the framed photo of us on the nightstand, and a bitter laugh escaped my lips. I was his nothing. There was no screaming match. No throwing his clothes onto the lawn. What was the point? The man I loved was a ghost, a fabrication of my own hopes. Confronting him would be like arguing with a stranger. It wouldn't bring him back. It wouldn't heal the wound he'd carved into my soul. So I said nothing. I packed a single bag that night, moving through the space we shared like a phantom. I took only what was mine, leaving his life as quietly as I had discovered his lie. He came home to an empty closet and a note on the kitchen counter. I'm gone. Just 2 words. He probably thought it was a phase, a dramatic gesture. He called, he texted. I blocked his number without reading a single message. The temptation to unleash my fury, to make him feel a fraction of my pain, was immense. But a different idea, cold and clear, began to form in the back of my mind. Rage burns out. It's loud and messy. But quiet? Quiet lingers. Quiet is patient. I opened a scheduling app on my phone. And I started to type. The first few months were a blur of gray. I found a small apartment on the other side of the city, a place with no memories attached. There were days I couldn't get out of bed, the weight of his betrayal pinning me down. The world felt muted, the colors drained. But slowly, imperceptibly at first, things began to change. A coworker invited me out for coffee, and for the first time in a long time, I said yes. I laughed at a stupid joke, and the sound felt foreign, but real. I started painting again, something I'd abandoned because he'd called it a messy hobby. I filled canvases with angry slashes of black and red, which eventually softened into blues and greens. I joined a hiking group, feeling the burn in my legs as I climbed, each step taking me further away from the person I used to be. I made new friends, people who knew me as I was now, not as one half of a broken whole. They saw a woman who was quiet but strong, someone who listened more than she spoke, whose eyes held a depth they couldn't quite place. I was rebuilding, not the life I'd lost, but a new one. A better one. One brick of self-respect at a time. I never looked him up. I didn't need to. I knew where he'd be. A year can feel like a lifetime. Or it can feel like the single, drawn-out breath before a storm. I saw the engagement announcement by accident, a tagged photo on a mutual friend's feed. A perfect, staged photo. The ring, the happy couple. The date was set for exactly 1 year after the day my world had ended. The irony was so thick I could choke on it. He was getting everything he wanted, on a timeline built over the ruins of my heart. But there was no anger anymore. Just a calm, steady resolve. While he was picking out flowers and tasting cakes, I was learning to breathe again. While he was writing vows of forever, I was rediscovering my own worth. He was building a future on a foundation of lies, and I was building a future on the solid ground of truth. My truth. The scheduled message sat on my phone, a digital time capsule waiting for its moment. I didn't look at it. I didn't need to. I had memorized every single word. The day arrived. It was a beautiful Saturday in June. The kind of day made for new beginnings. I imagined the scene, the white dress, the nervous laughter, the proud parents. I pictured him standing at the altar, smiling that charming smile of his, the one that had fooled me for so long. He would be celebrating. He would be happy. He would think he had gotten away with it all, that his past was neatly tucked away, forgotten. But the past is never truly gone. It just waits. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold, I was miles away, sitting on a quiet beach. The waves crashed against the shore in a steady, rhythmic pulse. It was 4:37 p.m. Right in the middle of the reception, I guessed. The perfect time for a toast. My phone remained silent in my bag. I didn't need to see it happen. I could feel it. A subtle shift in the universe. In that grand reception hall, surrounded by friends and family, his phone would have buzzed on the table. A notification, easily ignored. But curiosity is a powerful thing. He'd pick it up, his smile still lingering from a guest's joke. And then he'd see my name. His smile would falter. He'd open the message. Congratulations. You finally got the life you cheated for. Check your email, she knows everything. In that instant, his perfect day would shatter. The blood would drain from his face. He'd look across the room at his new bride, her face radiant with a joy he was about to extinguish. He'd see her phone light up. An email from an anonymous account. The subject line, "The man you just married." And inside, screenshots. The photos. The messages. The entire sordid history of their beginning, laid bare for her to see. The whispers would start, spreading through the room like a virus. The music would falter. Her laughter would die in her throat. Her eyes would find his, and in them, he would see not love, but the dawning of a devastating realization. The truth had arrived, right on schedule. I took a deep breath of the salty air, letting it fill my lungs. The sun was a fiery orb, melting into the ocean. A year ago, I had been drowning. Today, I was watching the tide roll in, feeling the solid ground beneath my feet. Revenge isn't about hate. It's about balance. It's about justice, served cold and with undeniable precision. He didn't just betray me, he built his happiness on a lie, and a structure that weak is bound to collapse. I didn't tear it down. I just gave it a little push and let gravity do the rest. I hadn't destroyed his life. I had simply revealed the truth of it. What happened next in that reception hall was his story to live, his chaos to navigate. It was no longer a part of mine. My story was here, in the quiet strength of the sunset, in the promise of a new day dawning on the horizon. I was free. Some revenge is loud and fiery. But the most satisfying kind is quiet. And it always arrives on time. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content. We all have stories of strength and resilience, and this channel is here to share them. Until next time, take care.